Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everybody. I, Natasha Putin, on behalf of our Miracle Incubation and Incubation Center, consider it as a great honor to welcome our chief guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Richard Jones, for today's event. I heartily welcome you, sir. I also welcome our invited teacher, Anuja Nathan. I'd also like to welcome our students for this session. Now, I would like to call Uzma Sayyed to take over the session.
Good morning, one and all present over here. I, Uzma Sayyed, I'm here to give an introduction on Vivek College of Commerce and Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center. Vivek Education Society is a charitable institution set up in the year 1961 and established Vivek Vidyalaya in 1962 and followed it up by starting junior college. Vivek College of Commerce was started in the year 1986. It is recognized as a vibrant institution working continuously for the cause of education. Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center was firstly known as ESIL, that is, Entrepreneurship Cell. It was started on 11 December 2018 and later got developed into Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center on 20th December 2021. Vivek College of Commerce is the first college in Maharashtra to inaugurate an incubation center under MITSC, that is Maharashtra Information and Technology Support Center. We have registered ourselves under Ministry of Education Institution Innovation Council, in which we have successfully completed and approved all our quarter 1 and 2 activities. Under IIC, we also have Atal Tinkering Lab scheme in which we do mapping in different schools. So, now, let us know something about our chief guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Richard Jones. He did his schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya and did BBA, that is Bachelor of Business Administration, from Madras Christian College. Did his MBA from Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. He was Operation Analyst of Goldman Sachs, co-founder of Bezist, Business Development Manager of QuickRide, Digital Marketing Analyst of Vakil Search, Entrepreneur in Residence of Vidyalaya. Currently, he is Faculty Associate of Xavier's Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, Equity Crowd Investor, Head of Riser Premiums. His focus areas are business model innovation, blitz calling, growth hacking, and trying to be an expert journalist. His long-term goal is to be at the intersection of theory and practice. I heartily welcome you, sir. Over to you. Thank you so much.
So I'm currently part of Jain Launchpad. Jain Launchpad is a startup incubator supported by Jain University and Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and I head the Riserpreneurs program where we help startups at ideation stage. Okay, so we'll try to make the session more interesting. I hope everyone is allowed to use mobile phones in their class, because we have some activities you have to use your mobile phone as well. Can anyone say yes?
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, great. So let me share my screen. So, as I already mentioned, I'm part of Jain Launchpad and I head the Riserpreneurs program. So before we start, I always start with this video. So has anyone seen the ad, Think Different ad from Apple? Okay, anyway, I'll just play it, so have a look at it. So this is one of the ads that completely reinvented Apple itself. So of course, most of you know that when Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 1997, Apple was at the brink of bankruptcy. Though they were going to fail, the business itself was away from failures, just 3 months away from failure. So this was one of the ads that completely changed Apple as we know today. So it was a message for not just for customers, it was also a message for the employees of Apple as well to think different. Okay.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
So we'll have a quiz. Okay. So I'll have 3 questions. Before my presentation, I'll have 3 questions after the presentation. Let me see how much of startup knowledge do you know. So can everyone scan this QR code or go to slido.com, use the event code 10541513. Can everyone scan the QR code or go to slido.com?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we'll have 3 questions before this presentation. I'll have 3 questions based on whatever I'm going to present today. Okay. So let's see how much startup knowledge do you have as of now, and we'll also relate it to whatever I'm going to present. I'll have some questions as well. Either you can scan the QR code or go to slido.com, use the event code that is 1054513.
I request members to please scan the code because वहाँ पे नाम आ रहा है ना सबका push हो जाओ नाम.
Just your first name is required, so you need not put your full name. So first name is required. You can quickly scan the QR code. Has everyone joined? Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, then let's move on to the first question. So you will have like 10 seconds to answer. Okay, so we'll have 3 questions before my presentation and 3 questions after my presentation. Okay, I'll just wait for 30 more seconds and then we'll start. Okay, as soon as I move to the next slide, the question will appear on your phone. Okay, and you have to answer that within 10 seconds. Okay, let's begin. Okay, I'll just move on to the next slide. So which is the highest valued startup in India? You can answer using your mobile phone. You need not say it aloud. So what's the correct answer? You are absolutely right. It's Byju's. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, that's the leaderboard. We'll move on to the next question. Which founder startup was the first female-led unicorn to launch an IPO in India? What's the correct answer? It's Falguni Nair, who is the co-founder of Nykaa. Okay, this is a simple question. I hope everyone gets it right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. You'll also see the leaderboard. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. Which location is known as the startup capital of the world?
Silicon Valley.
Bangalore.
Silicon Valley.
No, you need not say it aloud. That's why you are using the Slido app. So what's the correct answer? Bangalore is known as the Silicon Valley of India. So of course, Silicon Valley, which is located in California, San Jose, California, that's the startup capital of the world. Okay, so let's begin with your presentation now. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about startup, right? Everywhere, of course, this session is also about startup. But let me see, do you have an understanding of what is a startup? Okay, I'll just move. So if I start a Kirana store, will you call that a startup? Let's have a quiz again. 1 second. Yeah, can you quickly answer it? Would you call a Kirana store a startup? Yes or no?
No, sir.
You can answer it on Slido. Okay, let's see how much. So majority have said no and like 20% have said yes. Okay, let's move on. Would you call this a startup? Would you call Flipkart a startup? Would you call Flipkart a startup? Can anyone answer that?
Yes, sir.
Why would you call majority said Kirana store is not a startup, but Flipkart is a startup? Why do you think so? Why is it so?
Because there is no technology in Kirana store.
Okay, if a Kirana store uses technology, then it's a startup?
Maybe.
Okay, any other answers? Can anyone else give an answer? Because we talk a lot about startup, but you have to have an understanding of what a startup is as well, right?
किराना स्टोर है ना जो नॉर्मली सब कर रहे ना वही कर रहा है, जबकि फ्लिपकार्ट ने कुछ डिफरेंट ट्राई किया है। स्टार्टअप नॉर्मली वही होते हैं जो डिफरेंट हो और यूनिक आइडियाज पे बेस्ड हो।
Okay, so what you're saying is a startup has to be different, unique, and innovative. So is Flipkart unique? Flipkart was, if you see Sachin and Binny Bansal, who started Flipkart, they were earlier working in Amazon, and they just, it's a similar model to Amazon, right? When Amazon started, also Amazon started as a provider of it's an online bookstore, and Flipkart also started as an online bookstore. It was just a model of what Amazon was doing. So was it unique? Is innovation a criteria to be called a startup? Okay, let's look into that. So any young business which targets a large market has a scalable business and is capable of achieving high growth. So those are startups. A business need not necessarily be innovative to be called one. Okay. So there are 3 points that you have to keep in mind. It targets a large market, has a scalable business model, and is capable of achieving high growth. So let's compare Kirana store and Flipkart. Okay. In which industry is Kirana store into? Which sector? In which sector is Kirana store? It is into retail, right?
No idea, sir.
It's into retail sector. They sell retail products, correct? Agree?
Yes. Yes, sir.
And Flipkart is also into retail product, right? They sell retail products. So both fulfill the first criteria. Both are into a large market. Kirana store is also into a large market, and Flipkart is also into a large market. India's retail market size is close to 1 trillion. Okay, so it's both a large market. Now let's look into the second criteria. Does it have a scalable model? So if I purchase a particular biscuit from a particular Kirana store in Bangalore, can I purchase that same biscuit from the same Kirana store in Mumbai as well? Is that possible?
No, sir.
No. Whereas if it's Flipkart, I can purchase from Flipkart even if I'm in Bangalore, even if I'm in Mumbai, even if I'm in Delhi, anywhere in India, I can still purchase from Flipkart because they have a highly scalable model. Of course, technology makes that business model highly scalable. And so the second criteria, Kirana store doesn't fulfill, Flipkart fulfills. Let's look into the third criteria. Is capable of achieving high growth. So if you see a Kirana store, maybe next to your college or something, this month also maybe let's say they earn 1 lakh. Next month also they may earn 1 lakh, and even after a couple of years also say 1.2, 1 lakh, 1.5 max 1.5. Let's consider 1.5. Whereas Flipkart started with an investment of 5 lakhs, and today it's worth 20 billion. So Walmart purchased Flipkart for close to 20 billion US dollars, right? So they are capable of achieving high growth, whereas a Kirana store is not. So from that perspective, if you look, all these are startups. Paytm, Oyo, Big Basket, of course, it got purchased by Tata, Ola, Byju's. So all these companies are startups. Swiggy. So these are all startups. If you try to put these 3 criteria, they cater to a large market, has a scalable business model, and is capable of achieving a high growth. And these are the set of criteria even a venture capitalist look for. So you hear a lot about a certain company getting funding from VCs. So what do VCs look for in a business? A business has to cater to a large market. That's one criteria. It has to have a scalable business model, and it has to be the business has to be capable of achieving high growth. So these are the 3 set of criteria that VCs also look for in a startup. If you're building a startup where you want external funding, you have to fulfill all these 3 criteria. Large market, has a scalable business model, and you have to achieve high growth. That's when VCs invest in a startup. Of course, there are 2 more things that VCs consider as well. Like, let's look into that. The other is business mode. Do you have a competitive advantage? Why should I invest in your company? Can some other competitor just come in and easily compete with you? So do you have a competitive advantage? Do you have a business mode? That's what usually we call in business. Do you have a moat around your business? How easy or difficult is for competitors to come and compete with you? If it's very difficult to compete with your company, like Amazon, Google, Facebook, Apple, all these companies, even Flipkart, Swiggy, Zomato, they have a business mode. Okay, so it's not easy to compete with. Just tomorrow, no one can just come out and say I am going to compete with Swiggy or Zomato. It's not possible because they have built the customer base and the restaurant base, and it's not easy for any company to just come in and compete with the Swiggy, Zomato, or Ola, Uber. Okay, they have a moat around them. Okay, that is the fourth criteria. And the other is founding team. So in an early stage startup, VCs always invest in a team. They bet on the team. So you have to have a great team. Why are the founders in the best position to execute on this idea? You have to answer that. Why are you in best position to execute on this idea? If you see a company like Apple or even Flipkart, so Steve Wozniak was the technical founder, Steve Jobs was the marketing founder. So they had that set of complementary skills, and they were the right people to come out with the new set of the PC revolution. Okay, so these are the 5 criteria that you need to understand, like keep in mind when you're building a startup. Are you catering to a large market? Do you have a scalable business model? Will you be able to achieve high growth? Do you have a business model or a competitive advantage around your business? And do you have a great founding team? Okay, so these are the set of criteria on which mostly VCs invest in a startup. If you don't have this set of criteria, VCs won't invest in a startup. Okay, is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me as well. Okay. Now let me play this video. Watch this video carefully, and I have a question after this. Okay. So this company is based out of US, California. So they cater to US market. Okay. I'll have a question after this video.
Making juice is easy. Start by taking a stroll down to the neighborhood farmer's market. Buy about $50 worth of organic fruits and vegetables. Don't forget to bring a tote bag.
Do you sell tote bags?
No, we'll just carry it. Did you forget your tote?
Wash your fruits and vegetables. Cut them, chop them, wash them again, peel them.
I think this peeler's broken.
Dig your juicer out from the back of your cupboard, realize there's still a part missing, find it. Figure out how to put it all together, then juice. And enjoy. Oh, but did you think you were done? Because you're not. Now you've made a big old mess that you have to clean up, the machine, the countertop, pretty much your whole kitchen.
Can't get those beets out of anything.
All right, so making juice isn't easy at all. It's actually a huge pain. But what if it didn't have to be?
What is this?
It's a juicero.
I'm sorry, I don't know what that word means.
It's
What's
a new word.
juicero? Okay, define it for me.
Juicero, the best juice ever. What comes out of the juicero is so fresh that it shouldn't even be called juice. It should just be called, I don't know, squashed produce, because that's what it is. Our founder, Doug, is straight up made of juice.
Literally, there's juice in my veins.
Doug and the Juicero team have taken care of everything. Not just the washing, the peeling, and the chopping, but the growing, the harvesting, the washing, the refrigerated transport, the inspecting. Did we mention the washing? The packaging. And finally, delivering to your house. And we haven't even gotten to the most genius part yet. There's nothing to clean. No mess whatsoever. It's so easy that it makes the old way of juicing seem, well, old.
Why did I do all that other stuff?
Who cares? That's our past life. This is our new life.
Juicero.
Wow.
The easiest, freshest, most delicious way to get juice.
So will Juicero be successful? It's catering to US market. It's mainly targeted at California. So will it be successful based on whatever you are seeing? Okay, almost 90% say that it will be successful. Okay, let's watch one more video and let's see if it is successful. Watch this video carefully, okay?
Making juice.
Watch this video carefully now. So is Juicero successful?
No,
Why is it no?
no, sir.
Why is that?
So in country like India, it won't work, but in foreign countries like US, they will work. जैसे इंडिया में ना ये मशीन हो या ना हो लोग इसको प्रीफर ही नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि
No, we are talking about US market, right?
क्योंकि ये फ्रेश नहीं है बट फॉरेन कंट्रीज में मशीन के साथ चलेगा क्योंकि लोगों के पास उतना टाइम नहीं है कि वो हाथ से ये सब करने बैठे
Okay, we are talking about US market here. So even in US market, this product failed for one reason. If you watch this video carefully, you would have known the reason. Anyone else has an answer? Okay, let me play this video again. Okay, let me play this video. Watch this video carefully again. Now, if you watch this video carefully, you don't need the machine itself. You just need a hand. So why should people purchase the machine in the first place? Is that clear? Is it understood? You don't need the machine. The company is selling that machine for around $500 to the customers. So you don't even need that machine in the first place in order to get like extract the juice out of that packet. So do you think you'll make such a mistake?
No, sir.
Okay, so if you see, this company is based out of Silicon Valley, and some of the top VCs in the world invested in this startup, including Google Ventures. So you feel that they can make such a mistake, but you won't make such a mistake?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So actually, majority of the startups fail because they build products that nobody wants. Okay, more than 40% of the startups fail because they build products that nobody wants. Okay, so if you feel that you won't make such a mistake, it's usually no, that's not the case. Majority of the startups fail because they build products that nobody wants. Okay, so let's look into a few more examples and understand the process as well. Okay, let me play this video as well.
Wind me up, put me down, stop me up and watch me go. Kicking this gal on the avenue, but I'm alright. 'Cause it's easy once you know how it's done. You keep it running through your blood.
So which company created this ad? Can everyone quickly answer? So what's the correct answer?
Universal music.
Okay, let's see let's see what's the correct answer. Okay. I think let's see what's the correct answer. Just give me a second. Do you recognize this product?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
It's Apple.
Actually, it's iPod, right? Of course, Apple product, it's iPod. So that is one of the classic ads of Apple iPod. So if you see before the launch of iPod, most of the earphones were black in color. So the distinction of iPod was its white earphones. So if you see anyone wearing a white earphone, instantly you were able to recognize that it was an iPod. So that's how these iconic ads from Apple were created. They didn't show the product itself, they just showed the white earphones. So this is one of the iconic ads of Apple. Of course, everyone knows that iPod disrupted the music industry. So why do you feel, how was Apple iPod able to disrupt the music industry? Can anyone tell me a couple of reasons that you feel were the reasons why iPod disrupted the music industry?
Anyone? Sir, can you repeat the question, please?
My question was, how was Apple iPod able to disrupt the music industry? Of course, if you say MP3 player, usually people say iPod, right? It's synonymous with the category. Well, rather than saying photocopier, you usually say Xerox. I need a Xerox. Same way with MP3 players, iPod. People didn't differentiate between MP3 player and iPod. So usually everyone says I need an iPod. So how was Apple iPod able to disrupt the music industry?
Yes.
Sir, because of the goodwill of the company.
Pardon?
Goodwill of the company.
Okay, goodwill. Okay. What else?
Sound quality.
Okay.
Sir, because it provided totally different device for music, only music.
Okay, so you're saying that they were the first digital MP3 player in the market. Before that, there was Sony Walkman. So they were the first digital MP3 player.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other answers?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So any idea when iPod was launched? In which year was iPod launched? iPod was launched in 2001. Okay. So this was world's first digital MP3 player. That is Diamond Media's Rio was world's first digital MP3 player. They were portable, they were stylish, they were also like, it was in terms of technology, they were way ahead of rest of the products. But whereas this product had a 3-year head start compared to iPod, still they failed. So what's the reason why iPod succeeded, whereas a product like Rio, which was 3 years ahead of Apple iPod, still failed? So what Apple did differently was they didn't just wrap a good technology in a snazzy design. What they did differently was they wrapped a good technology in a great business model. So what they understood was, if they make downloading and listening to music as convenient as possible for the consumers, people will be willing to pay for the high priced iPod music players. So what Apple did was they integrated software, hardware, and iTunes music player into a single seamless user experience for the consumers. That's where Apple disrupted the market. They came out with altogether new business model. Now searching for music, buying music, and listening to music was done in a one seamless experience. So they completely changed the business model of the music industry itself. Okay, and that's the reason why Apple iPod was able to succeed. Okay, so if we see the graph of Apple also, over the years they disrupted the business model. That's the reason why their net income also has like going up. So of course they are the first company to touch 3 trillion in market cap as well. But if you see for every launch, be it iPod, be it iPhone, be it iPad, there was consistent increase in their net income as well. So they didn't just launch a product that was good in technology. They launched a product that was good from a business model perspective. They combined good technology with a great business model. That's why they were able to disrupt be it the music industry, be it the smartphone industry, be it the tablet industry. Okay, let's look into one more example to better understand how iPod or iPhone was able to disrupt the market. I'll just quickly play this video. Okay, just 1 second.
Every once in a while, a product comes along that changes our perception of how we use technology and how natural it can feel. We wanted to design a better way to use a phone, and it comes down to one simple gesture: a swipe. In an application, swiping from any edge of the screen takes you home. With no need for a home key, this all-screen phone makes more room for apps to shine and is incredibly easy to use. We looked at the most important things that people need to do with their phone every day, using apps, getting notifications, and switching between different activities. For each of these, we designed a recognizable home view. The first is where you launch and organize your applications. The second gathers all your notifications and social network feeds in one place. It's the fast and easy way to stay up to date. And the third view shows everything you've been doing recently. All your live apps are ready for you to pick up where you left off. This is the best multitasking on any phone. I'm especially proud of the craft that went into this design. The body is precision machined from a single piece of polycarbonate, which flows seamlessly into beautiful curved glass. The laminated deep black display means that everything just floats on the surface. The N9 is all about making things simpler, whether you want to follow social networks, browse the web, or navigate using the best maps on the planet. It's all here, just a swipe away.
So, does everyone recognize this brand?
Yes, sir.
So everyone has used Nokia phone at least in your early years of, like, at least your parents might have used a Nokia phone, right? So they used to dominate the Indian market. They used to have, I think, close to 90% market share in India. So why Nokia failed? Of course, Nokia failed, so it's no longer, they don't have that phone division anymore. So why did Nokia fail? Any answers?
So,
Yeah, please go ahead.
टेक्नोलॉजी को अडेप्ट नहीं कर पाया था स्मार्टफोन
Okay.
सब स्मार्टफोन आ रहे थे दूसरी कंपनीज पर नोकिया में ऐसा उनको मानना था कि नहीं मेरा नॉर्मल फोन है वो आगे तक चलेगा वो उसकी थिंकिंग गलत हो गई थी.
Okay. Any other answers? Of course, if I heard it right, you said that their technology was behind other players. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other answers why Nokia failed?
Sir, because there was no update.
Okay.
Update their technologies, their functions.
Okay. Okay. Any other answers?
Anyone? What is for बोलना?
That's all right. Even if you are wrong, it's all right. So you can just say what you feel Nokia failed.
Hello.
Why you feel? Yeah, please go.
Its own operating system, and rather than other phones, they had their own. People were more convenient using the other phones rather than Nokia.
Okay. Okay. So let's look into why Nokia failed. Okay, before that, if you see, this is Nokia N9 phone. Okay, Nokia N9 was launched in 2011. Let's look at some of the reviews, okay, of the phone. Yeah, the N9 is an impressively engineered device that is matched with a sophisticated touch-oriented interface and a powerful software stack with open source underpinnings. This could have been Nokia's winner, the most significant handset since the Nokia N95. And Nokia N9 is without doubt one of the most fascinating phones of the last year. So in terms of technology, Nokia was not behind any of the other smartphone players. This was considered one of the best phones in 2011. And if you see the software, if you see the swiping feature of Migo software, that was the Migo software. It was way ahead of almost any software in the market at that time. Only after almost a 10-year time, we had that swiping feature. You don't no longer have a home button in any of the phones now. But Nokia thought of that in 2011 itself. So it was not because they failed from a technology perspective. As I already told you, technology is not the only reason why companies succeed. It's also business model. So what happened after the launch of iPhone was smartphones shifted from a product business to a platform business. Of course, most of the business today you interact, be it Swiggy, Zomato, Ola, Uber, Amazon, Flipkart, all these companies are a platform business. I'll tell you what's a platform business as well. So what happened was there is a shift between, after the launch of iPhone, the business model of the smartphone industry shifted from a product business to a platform business. Now I'll let you know like how that shift happened. Because before the launch of iPhone, how we consumed a mobile phone or a smartphone was we purchase a smartphone, we use it. That's it. You have one set of customer and you use the smartphone. But after the launch of iPhone, smartphone players had two sets of customers. Can anyone tell me who are the two sets of customers that Apple or other Android phones had after the launch of iPhone? Any idea who are the two sets of customers? Can anyone quickly tell me?
The one is the normal users like us, and the second one is the businessman. We can influencer type.
Okay. So let me tell you who are the two sets of users. One is, of course, consumers, we ourselves, people who purchase, all of us. Then app developers. Even app developers were a customer for iPhone and Google Android phones. Because where Nokia failed was they went with Windows OS, Microsoft OS. So the problem with Microsoft OS was, even though the phone was really good, people are not purchasing a Nokia phone or a Microsoft OS because there are hardly any app developers. And app developers were not developing apps for Nokia phones or Microsoft OS because there are hardly any users. Why I, as an app developer, would spend a lot of my resources, time, and effort to build an app on a Microsoft OS or for a Nokia phone where hardly anyone uses, right? Is that clear? So you have two sets of customers. You have app developers and the end users. So you have to satisfy. That's what a platform business is. Who are the two sets of customers for a Swiggy or Zomato or a Ola or Uber? Can anyone quickly tell me who are the two sets of customers for Swiggy and Zomato or Ola or Uber?
So the one is the consumer, and the second one is the like hotels or small cafes.
Okay, the two sets of customers for Swiggy and Zomato is restaurants and of course we, the end users who purchase from Swiggy. We are a customer for Swiggy. At the same time, even restaurants are a customer for Swiggy and Zomato. Same for Ola and Uber. Even drivers are a customer for Ola and Uber. At the same time, people who take a ride from Ola and Uber, they are also a customer. Same goes to Flipkart, Amazon, Airbnb, all these companies. So for Amazon and Flipkart, who are the customers? The vendors who sell products on Amazon or Flipkart as a platform are again a customer for Amazon and Flipkart. At the same time, we who purchase from Amazon and Flipkart are also, we need to satisfy both the sets of customers. That's the big change that happened after the advancement in the internet. Most of the business became platform business. You have multiple sets of customers. So you have more of a chicken and egg problem, who to attract first. Okay, so that's why Nokia failed. They failed to shift from product business to a platform business. And most of the business today, all the startups you see in today's world are a platform business. Okay, so there's one great lesson about based on all the Juicero example, Nokia example, iPod example. Okay, great product need not necessarily be great business. Just because you are creating a great product doesn't mean that it will automatically become a great business. With product, you create value for your customers. With business, you when you build a great business, you create like value for your business as well. So these are two different aspects. With a great business model, you create value for your business. With a great product, you create value for your customers. So if you see all those startups in today's world, be it Uber, be it Twitch, which is a video game streaming platform, Airbnb, and Netflix, none of these companies innovated on technology. So majority of the companies in today's world are disrupted the market not based on just technology. So if you see any of these companies, they didn't come out with any new technology. What they did differently was they came out with a new business model itself. Uber disrupted the way they delivered value compared to taxi industry. Airbnb disrupted the hotel industry. They disrupted the way value is created for users in terms of stay and everything. Netflix disrupted the market in terms of how you watch movies and TV shows. So all this happened because of business model. So if you're an entrepreneur, understanding business model and how it will impact you is very crucial for the success of your business. Okay, so what's a business model? You would have heard this term very often. This is Swiggy's business model, this is Uber's business model, this is Razorpay's business model. You would have heard this term very often. So what's a business model? Any idea? Anyone?
Hello, sir. A business model means a proper plan of a business.
Okay. Any other answers?
Hello, sir. The business model is a kind of a thing. We can say like a trust point. मतलब business में क्या है, किसके लिए हम business कर रहे हैं, business benefit किसको होने वाला है, या business का outcome कितना होगा, revenue कितना होगा, एक total जो outcome निकल के आता है ना, उसको business.
Okay. Okay, let's look into what's the definition of business model in simple terms. In simple terms, business model is how you create value, how you deliver value, and how you capture value. You create value through your products and services. Then you deliver value through your resources, your channels, and everything. You deliver value for your customers, and you capture value through generating revenue. Okay, so business model in simple terms is how do you create value, how do you deliver value, and how do you capture value in return from customers. If you have a clear understanding of your business model, you'll be able to succeed in your startup as well. Okay, I'll just quickly play this video of what's a business model and what is a tool that we use in our incubator so to teach startup founders in terms of understanding the business model as well. Okay, let me quickly play this video. 1 second.
An organization's business model can be described with 9 basic building blocks: your customer segments, your value proposition for each segment, the channels to reach customers, customer relationships you establish, the revenue streams you generate, the key resources and key activities you require to create value, the key partners, and the cost structure of the business model. But it's not sufficient to just enumerate the 9 building blocks. What you really want to do is to map them out on a pre-structured canvas. This is what we call the business model canvas, a tool that helps you map, discuss, design, and invent new business models. Let's briefly go through the 9 building blocks, starting with the customer segments. These are all the people or organizations for which you're creating value. This includes simple users and paying customers. For each segment, you have a specific value proposition. These are the bundles of products and services that create value for your customers. The channels describe through which touchpoints you're interacting with customers and delivering value. The customer relationships outline the type of relationship you're establishing with your customers. The revenue streams make clear how and through which pricing mechanisms your business model is capturing value. Then you need to describe the infrastructure to create, deliver, and capture value. The key resources show which assets are indispensable in your business model. The key activities show which things you really need to be able to perform well. The key partners show who can help you leverage your business model, since you won't own all key resources yourself, nor you perform all key activities. Then once you understand your business model's infrastructure, you'll also have an idea of its cost structure. So with the business model canvas, you can map out your entire business model in one image. This works for startup entrepreneurs just as well as for the most senior executives.
So if you look at the competitive advantage created by process and product innovation compared to business model innovation. So if you see, the green one is process and product innovation, and the blue one is business model innovation. So if you see, over a 10-year period, business model innovation always had that competitive advantage over process and product innovation. So it's no longer process and product innovation that creates that competitive advantage or a uniqueness for the company. It's business model innovation. And as we saw, majority of the companies in today's world, be it Swiggy, Zomato, all these companies, more than technology, they created an altogether new business model to create value, deliver value, and capture value. Okay, so for any business to be successful, it has to be desirable, it has to be feasible, it has to be viable. I am putting that in a business model canvas. Desirable, do the customers really need the product? Feasible, do you have the skills and resources to execute on your idea? Viable, can you make money in the long term? So if you look into the Juicero example, they built a product that was desirable. If you give me Juicero machine for free, I will use it on a day-to-day basis, no doubt about it. But is that problem big enough for me to pay for it? No, it is not. So it was not a viable business. They built a desirable business. They had feasibility, they had desirability, but they couldn't build a viable business because they couldn't make money in the long term. Okay, that's why companies fail. It's not just about desirability. You have to combine all these aspects: desirability, feasibility, and viability. Okay, so let's look into different stages of a startup. Okay, so as soon as you come out with an idea, there are 4 things you need to do. First, you need to prove that there's a problem. Okay, just because you're coming out with the idea doesn't mean that the customers have a problem. So first you need to prove that customers have a problem. Okay, then you need to prove that your solution solves that problem. Okay, point 1 and 2 is known as problem solution fit. Okay, then you need to prove that customers are willing to pay. Just because customers have a problem doesn't mean that customers will be willing to pay as well. The problem has to be big enough for the customers to pay for it. So you need to figure out, is that problem big enough for the customers to pay for it? So this point 3 is known as product market fit. And next thing you need to prove is, can you scale your business? Can you build a scalable and viable business model? So this point 4 is known as business model fit. Point 1 and 2 is known as problem solution fit. Point 3 is known as product market fit, and point 4 is known as business model fit. So you need to prove all these aspects in order for your business to be successful. If you fail on either as aspect, your startup won't be successful. You have to go in this order as well. Okay. So I'll just quickly play this video and end this session as well. Okay.
Several years ago here at TED, Peter
Please watch
Skillman
this
introduced a
video
design
carefully,
challenge called the Marshmallow Challenge. And the idea is pretty simple. Teams of 4 have to build the tallest freestanding structure out of 20 sticks of spaghetti, 1 yard of tape, 1 yard of string, and a marshmallow, and the marshmallow has to be on top. And though it seems really simple, it's actually pretty hard because it forces people to collaborate very quickly. And so I thought this was an interesting idea, and I incorporated it into a design workshop, and it was a huge success. And since then, I've conducted about 70 design workshops across the world with students and designers and architects, even the CTOs of the Fortune 50. And there's something about this exercise that reveals very deep lessons about the nature of collaboration, and I'd like to share some of them with you. So normally, most people begin by orienting themselves to the task. They talk about it, they figure out what it's going to look like, they jockey for power, then they spend some time planning, organizing, they sketch in, they lay out spaghetti. They spend the majority of their time assembling the sticks into ever-growing structures, and then finally, just as they're running out of time, someone takes out the marshmallow, and then they gingerly put it on top, and they stand back, and ta-da! They admire their work. But what really happens most of the time is that the ta-da turns into an uh-oh, because the weight of the marshmallow causes the entire structure to buckle and to collapse. So there are a number of people who have a lot more uh-oh moments than others. And among the worst are recent graduates of business school. It's amazing. They lie, they cheat, they get distracted, and they produce really lame structures. And of course, there's teams that have a lot more ta-da structures. And among the best are recent graduates of kindergarten. And it's pretty amazing, as Peter tells us. Not only do they produce the tallest structures, but they're the most interesting structures of them all. So the question you want to ask is, how come? Why? What is it about them? And Peter likes to say that none of the kids spend any time trying to be CEO of Spaghetti Inc., right? They don't spend time jockeying for power. But there's another reason as well. And the reason is that business students are trained to find the single right plan, right? And then they execute on it. And then what happens is when they put the marshmallow on top, they run out of time, and what happens? It's a crisis. Sound familiar, right? Okay. What kindergartners do differently is that they start with the marshmallow and they build prototypes, successive prototypes, always keeping the marshmallow on top. So they have multiple times to fix, and they build prototypes along the way. So designers recognize this type of collaboration as the essence of the iterative process. And with each version, kids get instant feedback about what works and what doesn't work.
So that's the process of innovation. Okay, so when you're building something, you need to have the iterative process of building prototypes. Where the business students failed is they spend a lot of time in terms of planning, and finally they try to build a product, of course, which failed. Whereas the kindergarten kids, what they did was they build a product, learned from the mistakes, again build a product, learn from the mistakes, again build a product, learn from the mistakes. So they were able to learn from their mistakes very quickly, and that's why they were able to build successful tower on a consistent basis. So as a startup founder, if you're building a startup, you need to learn to build your product as cheaply and as quickly as possible. Okay, that should be your mantra. And lean startup methodology and all those aspects is what helps in building a process where you can build your startup as cheaply and as quickly as possible. And you need to learn as cheaply and as quickly as possible as well. Okay, so just one last message from my side. So stay hungry, stay foolish. In life, never be satisfied with what you have achieved in the past, because if you do so, you will eventually fall behind. To quote Herbert Spencer, it is not the strongest of the species that survives. It's not the most intelligent that survives. It's the most adaptable to change. So never stop learning, and always look out for the next big thing. The day you get satisfied with your life will come to a standstill in a world that's always moving. Okay, stay foolish. Wise people know that they can't touch the stars, but it doesn't stop a fool from trying. When you don't know what's the limit, you don't have a limit itself. To quote Albert Einstein, the difference between stupidity and genius is that genius has its limits. So gain knowledge to challenge the very knowledge, not to accept it. So more often than not, that's what a fool does. I challenge the status quo. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who really do. Okay, stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you very much. So any questions? Quickly, I can answer one or two questions. I hope everyone liked the session.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I have a few questions from our side.
Okay.
Sir, what are the major requirements? Like, what are the things that we need to be aware of good startup system?
Can you just repeat your question?
What are the major requirements? Like, what are the things that we need to be aware of good startup?
In a good startup. So as I already told you, these are the set of criteria that a successful startup has. You target a large market, you have a scalable business model, you are capable of achieving high growth, you have a business moat or a competitive advantage, and you have a great founding team. So there's a founder market fit as well. So any startup to be successful, they have to keep in mind all these factors. Okay. As I told, that those are the major factors that VCs also look for in a startup when they invest in a startup.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
No question. Sir, how do we start a system in entrepreneurship?
Can you repeat your question? I was not able to hear you properly.
How do we start a ecosystem influence entrepreneurship?
So in today's world, as we have like Startup India, there are a lot of incubators out there who are supporting. So you don't just have like you have like incubators, you have accelerators out there supporting. Now you have angel investors. There is financing base where equity crowdfunding, VCs are there. There are many ecosystem players like Headstart, TIE. So all these platform enablers are supporting startups. So it's much more easier in today's world for you to start a venture, because there are so many ecosystem players supporting you. Be it incubator, if you are in ideation stage or something, there are incubators supporting you, pre-incubation program, incubation program. Also government through DST and Atal Innovation Mission are providing a lot of grants to a lot of this business or incubators to support startups as well. So a lot of support in the startup ecosystem compared to even a decade back when Flipkart was started. And a lot of VCs also have started pumping in a lot of money in the early stages as well. So if you are aware, Sequoia Capital, which is one of the leading VCs in the world, they have a search program. There's Antler. There are a lot many programs out there in order even to support early stage startups as well. So the ecosystem has matured and has evolved in India over the years now, and it is really strong. And of course, be it Mumbai, be it Bangalore or Delhi NCR, they are considered as one of the top startup ecosystems in the world itself.
Thank you, sir.
Any more questions?
Yes, sir.
एक वेबसाइट है विंजारो करके, वो किसी स्पेसिफिकली दीपक को उसका उनको ऑथोरिटी नहीं है कि वो सेल
Your voice is not audible. Can anyone like?
Hello.
हेलो सर एक वेबसाइट है विंजारो करके, जिसको ऑथोरिटी मिली है कि वो दीपक को जो फ्रूट है, जो कि बहुत रेयर है, वो फ्रूट सेल कर सकता है। मैंने बीच में उसका फ्रूट कैंप ज्वाइन किया था, तो उसमें कैसा वहाँ पे मेरे को लगा कि वो वेबसाइट है, क्योंकि उसका कोई ऐप नहीं है, बट कैसा वहाँ पे लोगों को पकड़ रहे हैं और सामने से कह रहे हैं कि आप यहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट करो, कुछ 1000 या 1200 ऐसा है, तो आपको लाइफ टाइम मेंबरशिप मिलेगी कि आपको ये जूस मिलेगी। लिटरली 10 रुपीज का कुछ पैकेट था, वही अमेज़न पे 150 रुपीज का, तो वो स्टार्टअप कहलाएगा क्या? मतलब लिटरली बहुत चीप रेट पे बेच रहे हो।
I couldn't really understand. Can you just anyone like quickly tell me like what is the question?
सर एक वेबसाइट जो कि जिसको ऑथोरिटी मिली है कोई चीज की, वो नॉर्मली जो रेट है उससे भी कम पे सेल कर रहा है। लिटरली वो चीज Amazon फ्लिपकार्ट पे 150 रुपीज पर बॉटल मिल रही है, वो लोग 10 रुपीज पर बॉटल सेल कर रहे हैं, तो मतलब क्यों ऐसा?
So what you're saying is a product's MRP is like say 150, but they're selling the product at 10 rupees or 20 rupees. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what happens is, so all these companies are a platform business. So the problem with platform business is they have to attract vendors as well as customers. Okay, if you see, most of the startups are loss-making startups. Okay, none of them are profitable in Indian ecosystem. So out of the 100 unicorns that we have, close to I think around 20 to 23 startups are profitable. Why that happens is they have to burn a lot of cash. Let me give an example. Say Zomato or Swiggy. Okay, you go to Zomato and Swiggy because there are a lot of restaurants. If there are hardly any restaurants, you won't go to a Zomato or Swiggy, correct? Yeah, same way, restaurants will come to Zomato and Swiggy because there are a lot of customers. Okay, so let's take into example, let's talk about Ola or Uber as well. So you are using Ola and Uber as app because as soon as you put in your location, point A to point B, you are able to get a ride. And drivers are there on the platform because as soon as they come, they are able to get a lot of business. So in the early stages of Ola and Uber, they always face this challenge. For example, if I am a customer, I'm going to Ola and Uber, I'm putting my location, I'm not able to get a ride. Like, then you're losing the customer. So any platform business which has more than one set of customer is always having that chicken and egg problem, whom to attract first, because you need both the sets of customers for your business to be successful. It's not like I'm selling a water bottle and that's it. You have one set of customers, you're selling the product. Or if you're selling a pen, you are just selling to one set of customer. In a platform business, both the sets of customers create value. You can't create value for your business with just one customer. Say Ola and Uber, just by having drivers, there's no value for Ola and Uber. They also need customers who are taking ride. Just having customers won't create any value for Ola and Uber and even the customers. They need drivers as well. So how do you attract? So what Ola and Uber did in the initial stages was they provided a lot of freebies for their drivers. They provided a lot of freebies for customers as well, so that they can attract both the sets of customers in bulk at a single point itself. So that's why these companies burn a lot of cash, because once you achieve that market leader, once the network effect is into place, then it's very difficult to compete with Ola, Uber, Zomato, Swiggy, all this platform business. Because if I want to start a Ola or Uber, a similar business to Ola and Uber, I need to attract a lot of customers and I need to attract a lot of drivers. There's already a successful platform like Ola and Uber. Why would drivers come to my platform, or why would customers come to a platform where there are hardly any drivers or there are hardly any customers? That's the challenge that today's world, like today's platform business have. And if you are able to solve that, you'll be able to create a market leader position in that category. It's winner takes all. Sadly, to put it, it's a winner take all market in today's world because of platform business. I hope it's clear.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Do you want to have that quiz if you have like 2 minutes?
Sure, sir, sure.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, I'll move to the fourth question. Okay, is everyone ready? We'll quickly finish this. Okay. So next question. Why did iPod succeed? What's the correct answer? Okay, so they innovated on business model. That's why iPod was able to succeed in the market. Okay, let's move on to the next question. What comes first for a startup venture? Is it business model fit, product market fit, or problem solution fit? from where do you start if you have a startup venture? Majority have got it right. It's problem solution fit. First, you need to figure out whether customers have a problem and does your solution solve that problem. So it's problem solution fit. Okay, last question. Which is the most important factor in getting VC funding? Is it large market, scalable business model, founding team, fast growth, business mode? And again, majority have got it right, because in the early stages of your startup, VCs always bet on the team, okay, your ability to execute. So the correct answer is founding team. Okay, and congratulations for the winners as well. Okay, that's it from my side. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being a great audience as well.
Please stand up. Shalu, please stand up.
Sir, I would like to introduce Shalu Singh, the first ranker of this quiz.
Okay. Yeah. Congratulations.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. I'm able to hear you. Yeah, congratulations. I hope you enjoyed the session as well. You got to learn a lot of things as well. Did everyone enjoy the session?
Yes, it was a great session.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your feedback as well. That's it from my side. If you have any questions or others, we can end the session as well. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, listen here.
Good morning, everyone. Asha Khan, it is a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this evening. On behalf of Vivek College of Commerce, I take this opportunity to propose a humble thanks to all those who have directly and indirectly contributed to our session, organized by Miraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center of Vivek College of Commerce. At the outset, I wish to express my deep sense of gratitude to our keynote speaker, Mr. Richin Joshi, for accepting our invitation and giving us your valuable time. Sir, my heartfelt thanks to you for giving us an excellent coverage on startup ecosystem enablement. I would like to thank our audience for coordinating throughout the session. Lastly, my heartfelt thanks to all Miraki Pre-Incubation Incubation team members for making this event a great success.
Thank you, everyone. And always stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you, everyone.